All these little screens are popping up asking me if I want to download this, download that. Like, no, leave me alone. All right. So just as you kind of stretch out, our focus for today is going to be on the core. And when that usually brings up the image of just, excuse me, the abdominal muscles, six-pack muscles. But the core really incorporates from the upper chest all the way down, just beyond, below the pelvic floor, top of the thighs, and also the front body, side body. And what I feel is more important as we age is the back side of the body. So the muscles that run up and down the length of the spine. It's not only age that causes us just through bone loss to hunch forward, just the way we operate in our daily life, that also works against us being behind the computer or hunched over a desk or driving a car, right? It kind of causes it to contract forward, inward. So we sort of lose connection with the strength that we need in the back of the shoulders, shoulder blades, and upper back. So we're going to work all of that today. So as you start to stretch now, just take one long full body stretch. Take a big, long, deep breath in through the nose. And then as you exhale, just let your body melt. As you exhale, all the muscles soften, they let go. Nice, easy, slow breath. Easy breath out. Go ahead and bend your knees, widen your feet, knees knock toward each other. Hands somewhere on your torso. And as your hands land, just bring that image of drawing inward, kind of tucking yourself in energetically. And just make your legs comfortable. If this position is not comfortable, just find a way that you can have the hips and the knees, the thighs relaxed, feet grounded. And we'll just start right away with our 3-part breath. So we'll start just with a cleansing breath. In through the nose, big breath in. Slow exhale out from the mouth, just so you feel everything empty, keeping your face relaxed as you empty out the breath. Good. The next inhale, feel it go all the way down into the belly, all the way pulling up into the ribs, all the way into the lungs. See if you can find the top of the lungs, little tiny pause. And then exhale, soften from the top of the lungs, emptying, softening ribs. And then low belly. And right away, you're going to push the air out at the bottom of your exhale and then tighten, drawing in your pelvic floor, just holding the air out, already starting to connect with the abdominals. And then soften the belly, pelvic floor, belly rises as you inhale. Ribs open, heart space opens. Find the top of the inhale, soft face and jaw. And then exhale, soften the heart space, the ribs, the belly, and then start to engage, hugging the belly muscles in, pushing the air out, contracting the pelvic floor, drawing in. And then once again, relax so the belly fills and softens. Ribs open, front, side, and back. Heart space fills. Pause at the top. And then final time, exhale, soften the heart and the rib cage. And then pushing the air out gently at the bottom of the exhale. Push out as much as you can. And then push out just a little more. Soft face, jaw, shoulders, hands. Pelvic floor contracts. And then take a big full breath. Just let the breath wash all the way through. And let it empty out. Just naturally let it flow out. Easy breath. And easy breath out. And again, inhale, nice easy breath. And easy breath out. Keep catching my throat this morning. And then So sinking just a bit below your physical body and the soft energy of your breath. It's starting to connect just a little bit lower, kind of what's happening on the inside. Kind of the state of your thoughts, your mind, your heart. Bringing your entire self to your practice this morning. Choosing, if you need to just set something aside, just know that you're not pushing it away. It's something that you just don't want to carry through your practice. And then maybe something that you would like to cultivate, right? Not looking at it as achieving a goal, but see if you can just sort of bring in just some sort of energy that would feel positive to you, that you bring through your practice. And so we are kind of focusing on working strengthening of the core, right? Your sort of resolution, right? Your ability to be motivated and follow through, right? Not in a striving way, but in a grounded way. So once again, take a big full breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, nice, easy exhale. And then opening the arms out by your sides. And then maybe turning the toes out just a little bit. And you're simply going to start to windshield wiper the legs side to side. Nice and slowly. As you start to get into how the movement feels in your body, and you begin to sync up that movement with your breath. And then kind of finding the subtlety of sensation, right? Moving away from the legs, of the sensation in the thighs. You can find the sensation in the abdomen, okay, sort of the oblique muscles. You might even feel it right up to the waist, maybe even up to the front ribs. And just giving a gentle wake up and warm up to the lower abdominals, the oblique abdominals. Let the legs come back through center. I'll go ahead and shift the hips if you need to. You're going to one more time stretch the legs out nice and long. And just make sure that the low back feels comfortable. You need to shift your hips around, feel free. And then you're going to sweep your arms up over your head. And they don't have to be all the way up over the head. They can be out to the sides or even cactus if that's better for your shoulders. Just a big stretch, flex through the feet, big breath in. And now when you exhale, you're going to draw the right knee up in towards your chest and then pull your thigh close. At the bottom of the exhale, you empty the breath. And then inhale, opening up, arms float open, right leg extends. And then exhale, drawing the left knee and thigh up in toward the chest. Inhale, opening long. Be nice flex in the feet, engage through the arms. And then exhale, once again, right knee comes in. Opening up, inhale. Left knee comes in, exhale. So just a few more times, just kind of taking it at your pace. See if you can sense the abdominal muscles contracting as you draw the knee in and the lengthening as you stretch your body long. So just go ahead and finish up the side that you're on. Whatever knee that is, keep it in toward your chest. Draw the other knee in nice and close, and now both knees are in toward your chest. And just start to rock a little bit on your low back and your pelvis. Doing some tiny circles, traveling both directions. And then slipping your hands behind your knees or your thighs. Just let the thighs hang heavy toward your body, rotating the feet and the ankles, spreading the toes. And try not to rush the movement here. Really digging deep into that sensation of your shins and your ankles. The big, long Achilles tendon that runs up the back of your heel. And then just let the feet dangle and soften. That little energy tingle right up the fronts of your shins, fronts of your ankles. And then a gentle flex to the feet. Just open up the hamstrings a little bit and the knees. So extend the soles of the feet upward as you breathe in. Exhale and soften as you breathe out. And draw the thighs close. So just take this any way that feels good in your body, just extending the legs up and bending the knees, relaxing back. I'm just going to do this a few times, so just let it cycle with your breath. Next time that your knees come back toward your chest, just widen them out a little bit. They don't have to go super wide. I'm just going to keep that movement going, extending the legs, and now it's more in the shape of a V. Just a little stretch for your inner thighs. Abdominal muscles also working a little bit. Keeping the legs, holding the legs, and pushing the legs upward. Next time the knees are back in, just bring the knees in toward each other. Take a pause, a breath in, and a breath out. And now extend the soles of your feet up toward the sky. The legs don't have to go all the way straight. You feel like you're comfortable in your low back, and you're really grounded down through the pelvis. And then extending the arms upward like you're reaching for the sky, but let the shoulders kind of be heavy back down. And just as you find that spot where you can hold this, just a little bit of work through the abdominals. So now we're going to work opposite sides of the body. So when you inhale, your right arm is going to go up over your head. Your left leg drops down and extends forward just as far as you can keep your low back and your waist against the floor. And then exhale, drawing in. Let's just back up 1 second. I forgot to really have you engage through the abdominals here. So just feeling what you need to contract, what you need to engage to find your low back against the floor, right? Without your pelvis picking up from the floor. So you're very heavy through your pelvis. Imagine maybe a hand's width above the navel on the back side of the body, that area pressing into the ground. So you engage through your upper abdominal muscles, right? Pelvic floor engaged, right? Without gripping. So you're keeping the low back, the mid back sort of around the waistline as best as you can against the floor. And that's with that against the floor, you should feel the abdominals working. So trying to keep that as much as you can. And now inhale, right arm over the head, left leg goes forward, flexing the foot, right, just until you feel like you're going to lose that connection of the back of the waist and the low belly. And then exhale, slowly, slowly draw it back up. And then inhale, left arm, right leg. Try to keep the other legs and hand right where they are. And then exhale, coming back up. Super, super slow. Inhale, right arm, left leg. Exhale, drawing in, engaging abdominals, engaging pelvic floor. Left arm, right leg, inhale. And exhale, try not to rush. Inhale, right arm, left leg. Exhale, notice if you're clenching your jaw. See if what you can relax, just to let the movement come from the strength of the abdominals and legs. Let's do one more on each side. Inhale, nice and slow, engaging the back of your waist, the low back. Exhale. Last time, doing your left arm, right leg, or wherever you are. And then exhale back to center, and then draw the knees in towards your chest. So notice if doing that, you started to lift your chin up toward the sky so that the back of your head is away from the floor. So you want to just make sure that you tuck the chin a little bit. So you're lengthening through the back of your neck, not so much that you're forcing the neck against the ground, but you don't want to be jutting your chin up toward the sky. Good. And then coming back to center. Now you're going to have the knees bent in the shape of an air chair. So the knees are going to bend, knees up over the hips, shins are parallel to the floor, feet are flexed, and just put your hands on your abdomen, one hand below the navel, one hand above the navel, so that the pinky side of your hand is just above belly button, right thumb side just kind of skirting the bottom ribs. Take a big breath. And then when you exhale, press your low back against the floor, engage through the back of your waist, and see if you can feel those muscles contracting. Good. You want to lift your pelvis up away from the floor, back of the pelvis neutral. Okay. And then just remove the hands, the arms open out to the sides, palms open toward the sky, shoulders relaxed, and see if you can just find the engagement in the core muscles, a little tuck of the chin. Take a big breath in. Take a slow breath out. In the back of the waist, the low back against the floor. One more breath. Exhale. Good. One more inhale. And this time when you exhale, relax and just melt the thighs in toward the body. Hands come to the top of your knees, let the knees come away, and just take some circles in the opposite direction. So just imagine you're kind of rowing a boat. The knees go forward, the knees open wide, draw up along the sides of your body, back together. We're going to do that one more time. So bringing the knees over the hips, extending the shins up parallel to the floor. Right away, your low back wants to curve and open, pressing the low back and the back of your waist against the floor. Engaging those frontal ribs, like you're almost trying to knit them, sew them together, corseting the low ribs together. So this time, if you want to add just a little bit more, you don't have to. You can just have the arms down by the sides and just focus on breath. You could also take the palms of your hands, just a gentle press against the thighs, and the thighs a gentle press into the hands. Not so much that you're gripping your jaw, furrowing your brow, so if you can keep that soft. It's very challenging. Try not to jut the chin up. A little tuck of the chin. Take a big breath in. Take a slow breath out. And the low back and the waist engaged against the floor, knitting the ribs in like a corset. Good. Inhale. Don't lose the abdominals when you inhale, and then exhale. Re-engage whatever you've lost. Couple more. Breathe in. Breathe out. Last one in. And then thighs come in. Just relax. Let the thighs melt inward. And then one more time, we're just going to take some circles. And if you just went one direction last time, take the other direction for the knees. And then knees come back in toward your chest. Now give yourself a little squeeze here. You might even be able to wrap your forearms around the shins. If you want to try to lift gently the head and shoulders up off from the floor, tucking the chin in towards your chest. Take a big breath in. And then exhale, lay the shoulders and the head back down. Lower your feet and stretch out into a nice long full body stretch. Go ahead and arch the back as much as it feels nice, spreading the ribs, stretching the abdominal muscles. Take a big breath here. And then exhale, soften, melt. Easy breath. Easy breath out. Bend your knees. Feet come to the floor and just start to shift yourself over to one side. Take a little pause there, fetal position. Finding softness. Taking all that strength and awareness that you cultivated in your core. You just start to support yourself to come all the way up. And we're going to come into tabletop. Turn the music down just a little bit here. Supporting yourself with whatever you need. Underneath your knees. And then when you find tabletop, shoulders over the wrists, fingers spread wide, pressing the base of your thumb and index finger down into the ground. Okay, just feeling that shift of gravity. Okay, wanting to keep a neutral spine, so there's just a little tiny curve in the back. Reconnecting with abdominal muscles. So just draw in through your pelvic floor. Feel the abdominals engage. Upper abdominals, with almost like you're wrapping a corset around the lower ribs. Take a big breath in and take a slow breath out. Good. So try not to lose connection with that, maybe not quite so engaged, right? But we're going to move through some cat-cow. And so when you drop the belly down and lift the heart, don't let go of all of the abdominals. You want to just think about lengthening more than letting the belly just drop down. So you're engaging through the abdominals a little bit, hugging in the pelvic floor as the heart comes forward. And then exhale, curling your pelvis first. Navel comes towards spine. Rounding low back and mid back, upper back, pull the hips back just a tiny bit. And then coming forward, inhale. Think about stretching the front side of the body, pelvic floor engages. And then exhale, curling your pelvis, rounding the spine. Chin comes to chest at the bottom of your exhale. Coming forward, inhale. And then rounding, exhale. Really curling the pelvis under. Keeping your pelvic floor engaged. Inhale forward. And exhale, round. Let's do that 2 more times. Working from the center, working from the pelvis and the navel. And then as you come forward, just let the hands come a little bit forward of the shoulders. Go ahead and just let go of Kind of so much awareness of the core, and just let yourself move around a little bit just to feel a nice softening in the back and the spine. So you might just circle the hips around. Any movement that feels good. Listening to where your body would like to just engage in a little stretch. And then eventually pulling your hips back towards child's pose. Any version of child's pose that works for your back. You could be seated, just draping your torso over your thighs, coming back hips to heels. Just taking a few breaths to breathe into the back side of your body. Feeling the breath travel up and down along the spine. Spreading across the back ribs. Take one long inhale. And slow exhale. So we're going to come back up to your tabletop. Onto hands and knees. Knees right under the hips. Make sure that they're hip width distance apart. Shoulders right over the wrists. You're going to take your left knee and bring it just a little bit towards center. Okay. Go ahead and extend the right leg back behind you. Just curl your toes under, pull the heel back, and just a couple times rock back and forth, just to give the back of your leg just another little stretch. Finding back to center. Okay. And I will say that if this is not good for your wrist, you can always do this on forearms on your blocks. Okay. Just making sure that you're lining the elbows right up underneath your shoulders. Go ahead now, float the right leg up toward the sky. Try to keep that right hip pointed straight down. Push out through the heel. Good, take a big breath in. And when you exhale, drawing the knee in nice and slowly, rounding through the, curling the pelvis under, navel pulls up toward the spine, rounding the back, knee toward the nose. And then inhale, lengthen back. Try not to lift that right hip bone up. Hips are square to the floor. And then exhale, curling the pelvis under, pulling the navel in toward the spine. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, round. Slow and controlled, not using momentum, using strength. Curling under. Lengthening back one more time. Start to push yourself away from the floor, engage your upper arm muscles, pull the belly muscles in nice and tight, hug the ribs, pelvic floor. One more push of the heel back, take a breath, and then slowly lower down. Let's separate the knees back to hip width, and then just go ahead and melt back into child's pose, or just pull the hips back, giving your wrists and arms a break, coming on forearms if you like, circling wrists. And then back up to table, or on your forearms on blocks. Just make sure that they're shoulder width apart. Bringing the right knee just in a little bit more towards center. Push away from the floor, find the abdominals already hugging inward. Pelvic floor draws inward. Extending your left leg back behind you. Dial the front of the left hip down toward the floor. Okay, curl the toes under, and just a couple times rock back and forth. And then coming back to center. Once again, re-engage through the abdominal muscles, pelvic floor, lower abdominals hugging in, Ribs hugging in as though you had a little corset around the rib, low ribs. Start to float. Left leg up toward the sky, keeping the front of the hip pointing down. Big breath in. And then exhale, curling in, rounding. Pelvis tucks first. Pelvic floor engages. And then you round knee to nose. Inhale, lengthen. Pushing out through the heel. Keeping the pelvis neutral. Exhale, rounding under. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale and round. Lengthening one more time, keeping the left frontal hip bone toward the floor. Pelvis is neutral. Squeeze your left thigh, hugging in the abdominals. Take a big breath in. Take a slow breath out. Hug the pelvic floor in. Take one more breath. Exhale, bend, lower down. Coming to child's pose or forearms. Circle your wrists. And then coming back up. And go ahead and take the blanket out from underneath your knees. Now, if you're on a hard floor and you want to roll the blanket out the length of your mat to give you padding for your hips, you just want to make sure that your padding comes from the top of your chest down to at least your thighs, so that you're not going to rock on your hips. Right? And you're just going to walk yourself all the way forward, coming down onto forearms first, and then slowly walking the knees back. Dropping the hips, and then find that place where you're on your forearms, shoulders over the elbows, right? Feeling the abdominals working, knees on the floor, shins on the floor, the tops of the feet or the toes, curling your pelvis underneath a little bit, finding just a little bit of work in the belly here. This is sort of a modified forearm plank. Taking a breath in, and then slowly, slowly lower the thighs, lower the hips, lower the pelvis, and walk the forearms forward a little bit. Modified Sphinx pose. Okay. Press your pubic bone down into the floor. Pull the belly muscles in. And if you can lift the heart and hug the armpits in. Right? You might need to slide your forearms forward a little bit. Right. Curl of the pelvis underneath and drawing the navel in is going to keep this out of your low back. There might be a little contraction of the gluteal muscles here, but not enough that it starts to spin your feet, your toes out. You want to keep the tops of your feet down toward the floor. Take a big breath in and then slowly melt. Belly, ribs, chest. Stack your palms, make a little pillow with your hands, rest your forehead, bend your knees, and tick-tock your shins side to side. And then lower the feet. Again, tops of the feet resting onto the floor. You're going to slide your hands down along the sides of your mat. Just the pinky side of your hands are right up toward the edges of your mat. And so you can pull back so that the fingertips align right underneath the tops of your shoulders. But forehead is going to come to the ground or rest on your block. So right here, you're going to press your pubic bone down into the floor. Pull your belly muscles in. Hug your pelvic floor in, a little engagement in your thighs. Keeping all of that in the low body, in the pelvic floor, in the abdominal muscles. Start to hug your shoulder blades together on your back. So you're going to create a little bit more space between the front of your shoulders and your mat. Keeping your palms on the floor. Next inhale, you're going to simply lift your chest and your head and shoulders as one unit coming up, and then slowly lowering down, keeping the shoulder blades hugging together, keeping the pelvic floor and the pubic bone engaged. Inhale, length coming upward. And then exhale, lower down. The pubic bone pressing down, legs lengthening back behind you, chest lifts, shoulder blades squeeze, coming down, exhale. Good. This time you're going to come up, take a pause, gazing down at the floor. So don't extend the chin forward, so you're neutral in your neck. Press the pubic bone down. It's like you're curling your pelvis under. Pelvic floor engages, navel draws in, ribs draw in. You might lift your palms up away from the floor. Hug the shoulder blades together, pull the elbows back. Take a big breath in, and then lower down. One more time. Stack the hands, forehead rests, and tick-tock the knees, the shin side to side. And then legs lengthen again. Picking up one leg at a time, pull the toes back like you're lengthening the foot away from your hip. Same on the other leg, reach it back like you're trying to extend it way beyond the back edge of your mat. So the legs feel like they just got a little bit longer. Arms are going to come down by your sides. Palms are going to be toward the floor. Forehead on the floor or your block. And now press the pubic bone down. Engage through your abdominal muscles and your pelvic floor. A little squeeze to your thighs, a little squeeze to the buttocks, but don't let the heels come in and the toes move outward as best that you can. And now shoulder blades hug together, palms are still on the floor. Good. And then when you inhale, your chest lifts up, shoulders, head in one line, just keeping your gaze down towards your mat. Shoulder blades hug a little bit more. And then exhale and lower down. And then inhale, coming up. This time, float the palms just a quarter of an inch away from the floor. Reach the fingers back. Exhale, lower down, palms touch. Good, pubic bone keeps pressing down. Inhale, lift. Pull the navel up away from the ground. Lift the palms, reach the fingers back. Good. Exhale, lower down. Legs are engaged. Keep everything nice and strong right through the center. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower down. The more you press the pubic bone down into the floor, you're going to come up one more time and pause. The more you press your pubic bone down into the floor, the less you're pinching in the low back. If it's still pinching, come down a little bit. You want to hug the shoulder blades together, tight, tight. Fingertips reaching back. Big breath in. Slow breath out. Take one more breath. And then last time we lower down, take that little pillow with your hands, bend your knees, and move the legs side to side. Or you can take circles, whatever feels good to release your back. Relax your legs down. Hands are going to come underneath your shoulders. Very slowly, start to bring yourself up away from the floor through tabletop. And then just pull the hips back. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Might even just leave your hands forward for just a moment. Drop your head. And then if you want to go all the way back to child's pose, just start to let the arms relax and let the hips sink back as far as they want to go. And some deep breaths all the way into the backside of your body. Send it wherever you feel the most sensation. Wherever you felt It's working the most to strengthen the upper back, to lift your chest. Acknowledging its work. Coming back up through your table. You're going to transition up to standing just by taking your blocks, bringing them forward of your shoulders. You're taking this nice and slowly. Extend one leg back behind you. It doesn't matter which one. Good. Push the heel back, lift the heart. You can even find your pelvic floor working here. Going to help you swing your leg through. Lift your chest, belly muscles engaged. Take a breath in, and then lift the knee up away from the floor, just like you were knee to nose. See if you can bring it all the way through. Might not. That's okay. It's a goal. Tuck the back toes under. Slowly lift. Back knee up away from the floor. Gazing forward. Pelvic floor in. Belly muscles engaged. You start to take little hops or one big step forward, coming to the front of your mat. And widen out your feet here. You might even take your blocks, place them toward each other and in between the feet, just a little bit in front of the, underneath the face. Take a breath, and then go ahead and fold forward. Forearms can stay on the thighs, or you can use your blocks for support. And if you're not working with any dizziness, if you drop your head, or glaucoma, go ahead and feel free to drop the head, maybe give the head a little shake. Otherwise, just keeping the gaze forward and upright. By just wagging the hips a little side to side. So bending one knee at a time, just slowly rocking the hips. Coming back through center. And then if the hands are on the blocks, bring the hands right up to the thighs. Start to walk your hands up your thighs. Good. Get to the tops of the thighs. See if you can lengthen out through the spine. You can take some of the bend out of your knees or go a little deeper. Whatever's going to work best for you. Hug the navel in toward your spine. Engage through the upper abdominal muscles. Pelvic floor working. Shoulders hug back behind you. And now pull your chest forward, going all the way up to stand. Good. Just take a moment. Arrive into gravity. Feel that sensation kind of rush down from the head to the feet. And let that ground you. Soften the shoulders down away from your ears. Unlock the knees so you're not jamming the knees and the thighs too tightly, right? You're still calling on the strength of your legs, right? But you're kind of distributing that from the pelvis, through the knees, through the ankles, through the feet. And now draw that energy right up through the soles of your feet. Feel it come right up through the legs, right up into your pelvic floor. Hug that in. Feel the belly muscles hug, so you're corseting the ribs just a little bit toward each other. The gentle lift of the heart, the shoulder blades relaxing down your back. Spine lifting upward, little tiny tuck of the chin so you're not reaching the chin forward. Good. Spin your palms out. Take a big circle with the arms, big reach up. Palms touch, and then exhale, hands together in front of your heart. And then inhale, lifting up. Turn the palms away and exhale, reach nice and wide, chin floats to your chest. And then inhale, reaching up. Hands through heart center, exhale. And one more time, reaching up. Turning your palms away, exhale, and float down, chin to chest. Good, widen out the feet a little bit. Feet are parallel. A little soft bend in your knees. Right hand on your hip. Sweep your left arm way up above, up to the sky. Take a breath in, and then side lean over to the right. Please stretching whole left side of your body. Inhale to center. Exhale, leaning to the right. center, inhale. Leaning to the right, exhale. And then sweep the left arm down, left hand comes to your hip. Right arm goes up to the sky, big breath in. Side lean to the left. Excuse me. Again, there's soft bend in your knees here. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, side lean. Pull the pelvic floor in. See if you can feel the belly muscles working. Kind of just hugging and bracing the belly muscles in. And exhale. And now we're going to go side to side. Soft bend in the knees. Pelvic floor in. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Big breath. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. In breath. Strong belly muscles. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last time. In breath. Out breath. Inhale. Exhale. Now we're just going to move side to side like a windmill. Inhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Inhale. Exhale. Strong belly muscles. There's a tiny little tuck of the tailbone. Knees are softly bent. Pelvic floor is drawing in. Abdominal muscles engaging. Inhale. And exhale. Last time. Good. Relax. Pause. The weight drop down in the feet. And then roll your shoulders forward and up. Back and down. Forward and up. Back and down. Good. Bring the feet back a little bit more toward hip width distance apart. And once again, drop down into the feet a little without just unlocking the knees, feeling the strength of your thighs. You're going to interlace your fingers, send the heels of your hands forward. Just go ahead and lift them up just below shoulder height. Right? Try not to lean and round the back forward. You want to keep this neutral curve in the low back, neutral curve in the upper back. And now just tuck the pelvis a tiny bit. Pull your pelvic floor in, hugging the abdominals in. Now start to press the hands away without rounding the spine. You're simply pulling your shoulder blades apart. Good. And then hugging back. Now hug the shoulder blades together. Actually, just do this with the hands apart. Right? So you're kind of holding a big block between the palms. So inhale, reach forward. So it's just the shoulder blades that are moving. And then exhale, shoulder blades hug back. Inhale, reaching forward, pelvic floor in, abdominals engaged. Exhale, pull the shoulder blades back together. Inhale, forward. Nothing moves. The shoulder blades. One more time. And exhale. Good. Now spin the palms. So interlace your fingers, spin the palms away. Now you're going to inhale, lift the arms up above your head. Exhale, bring the hands behind your head. Elbows are wide, tuck your pelvis underneath. Inhale, lift the chest, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Exhale, back to neutral. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, push the heels of the hands forward without rounding the back. Separate the shoulder blades. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hands behind your head. Soft shoulders. Inhale, lift the heart. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhale, and back to center. Inhale, the palms up. And exhale, palms down. Now go ahead and separate the palms. Big circle of the arms. Inhale. Hands through heart center. Exhale. Good. Reaching up, full breath in. Palms turn away, breath out. Rolling the shoulders forward and up. Back and down. All right. We'll separate the feet nice and wide. I'm going to come into a warrior two stance with the legs. So opening the right thigh and foot out to the right. You might angle the back foot a little bit and aligning heel to heel. So front heel to back heel. Go ahead and bend right knee so it lines up right over the heel, over the ankle. But right here, so you can gather in pelvic floor, hugging your belly muscles in. Right, little corseting of the ribs, of the waist, keeping that engagement. Just tip your torso forward. Right? You should feel a little bit more in the abdominals here, working to keep that lift and that length. Right? And then just let the forearm lightly rest on your right thigh. Left arm is going to come up. Take a big breath and reach it over your head. Exhale. And then keeping the bend in the knee, you're going to reach up, coming into a little reverse. And then exhale. Now, without forearm coming to thigh, strong belly muscles. You're going to, again, like windmilling the arms. Inhale. And exhale. Strong belly muscles. Good. Two more. Inhale. And exhale. But if you need to straighten the knee, go ahead. Inhale. Try not to torture your legs today. And then exhale, rebend. Good. Coming all the way up. Turn your foot parallel. Take a pause. You might notice sensation in the oblique abdominals here on the side. I'm going to take that to the other side. So opening left leg, open to the left. Good. Whoop. Angling your back foot, heel to heel, gracefully. Gathering pelvic floor, belly muscles hug, and then soft bend, left knee. Resting left forearm lightly. So gather the belly muscles, the torso to the side, just keeping your chest open, feeling all the work in the abdominals here to keep that length, right? Now forearm lightly on the thigh. Right arm comes up, over the head or behind the head if that's better for you. Good. And then inhale, coming up. And then exhale. All the work is in the abdominal muscles as the hand sweeps past the thigh. And then inhale, go ahead and straighten if you like. You can always keep the knee bent. And exhale. Keeping your chest open to the side. Keep as much length in your torso as you can. And exhale. And then one more time, coming up. And then exhale and soften. Turn the feet parallel. Let the feet toe heel themselves toward each other. And a little bit wider than hip width distance apart. Knees bend, generous bend in the knees. And just let the hips be heavy. Take some nice circles with your hips. Going in the other direction. Slowly coming back upright. Roll your shoulders forward, up, back, down. So you can feel a heaviness to the tailbone, a strengthening, lifting up, just a little engagement in your pelvic floor. Right? And just notice what's happening in your abdominal muscles to keep your torso upright. You're really dialed into them, kind of challenging them through different positions and motions, just feeling how they're working on their own with a little help from you without forcing too much. Just how they support the spine. And you feel the support in the low back, in the mid back, sort of between the bottom ribs and the top of the pelvis. And Really the more difficult part to maintain is that strength of the back core, right? The muscles along the length of the spine, right through the back rib cage. Allows your shoulder blades to hug a little bit without losing the strength of the front core to keep the ribs contained. Take a long, full breath in. Slow, steady breath out. Bringing your feet all the way together. Coming toward the front of your mat with your blocks. Sweeping your arms up in a big circle. And a soft dive forward. Forearms come to the thighs, a gentle rounding of the spine. And then bring yourself up halfway. And then exhale, fold. Bring your blocks to the sides of your feet. And then step back. 1 foot, doesn't matter. Bring your knee to the floor. Other leg comes back, using your abdominal muscles to move the leg back behind you. And then go ahead and make your way onto your back. Good. Have what you need by your side for Shavasana. Just going to wind down a little bit. Bringing the knees in. Just let the knees and the thighs be heavy, shins be heavy. Feel the lower abdominal muscles soften, mid-abdomen soften. Feel the low back muscles melt. And just rock a little side to side. And letting feet drop gently down to earth, wide. And start to windshield wiper the knees again, side to side. So you're kind of back to where you started. That first awakening of the front of your body, your abdominals. Maybe enjoying the stretch and release just a little bit differently. Maybe with greater awareness, greater sensation. Greater appreciation. And then you come back to center. Maybe one more time, bring the knees in just to stretch the low back. And then go ahead and setting yourself up for your Shavasana. Letting go effort of your physical body. Just allowing the weight of your body melt into gravity. There's a lot of engagement of muscles deep inside of your torso, your core. Just taking a few breaths. Let your exhales melt a little bit more each time. Muscles of your center, your back, from the tops of the shoulder blades down to the bottom ribs, from the ribs along those muscles, the low back to the pelvis. From the front of your pelvis, kind of those frontal hip bones, softening the space between really your lower abdominals and your pelvic floor. Up to the navel. From the navel to the bottom ribs, where the ribs join in the middle, your sternum. And from the bottom of the ribs all the way to the top, collarbones, tops of shoulders. Letting that whole area melt and sink and soften. So that your breath becomes natural. Just enough breath to barely detect movement in the belly and the ribs. Soft face and jaw. Limbs of your body completely relaxed. And letting your body remain very still. And just begin to sense a stirring deep on the inside, deep in your heart, deep in your being. Not crowded by thoughts. And then you start to just kind of sprinkle whatever that sensation or feeling that you have as you reawaken. Just start to sprinkle that with a little breath. Like you're watering a little seed. And just start to let it grow. Let your breath become a little deeper, a little fuller, like the sun rising higher in the sky. And beginning to find some sensation and movement out into the fingers, down into the toes and the feet. You rock your head a little side to side, kind of waking up a soft mind, gentle mind. And then maybe a nice, luxurious little stretch of your body, any movement that's going to make you feel you're really starting to awaken fully. You might invite in a big breath and a nice, slow, melting exhale. And one at a time, feet come to the floor. And shift over onto your side. And gradually making your way up, come to seated. Take your time to get there. Unwrapping, unlayering. And sitting up tall. See how soft and steady you can be by calling on this natural strength of your core to feel a nice long spine. And let your hands float together in front of your heart. Feel that pressing of palm to palm, joining left and right sides together, finding balance. Invite a long breath in. Slow breath out. And thumbs float to the center of your forehead. And just bowing head to heart. And a blessing. May you move through the day, your day to day, with grace, with peace, with strength, front, side, and back. Namaste. Thank you, everybody.